We're here today at Caltech at our annual event, the EMI event, and I have the keynote speaker here. And she's going to share with you viewers some of the information that make this event really one of our highlights here in Pasadena, and why you viewers should stay tuned for a great show to find out the resources we have right here in Pasadena, and also what it does to our world as a whole. So why don't you share with them your name and give them an insight of how far did you come to be here, and what does this mean to you?
Okay, so my name is Hae-young No. I'm an associate professor at Carnegie Mellon University, and we are located in Pittsburgh. So we flew all the way from Pittsburgh to Pasadena to attend this annual conference. This conference is American Society of Civil Engineering Conference, particularly Engineering Mechanics Institute conference, where we study a lot of how the physics behind all this, how the engineering structures work. So things like buildings and bridges and all these infrastructure you see and use every day, we are here to help you understand how these structures are built and they operate and make sure they stay safe.
Wow. So why don't you share with the viewers, how many attendees would you say have participated in this year's event?
So it's very exciting that we are actually a very fast-growing community. So this year we had 1,000 participants. So it started with about 300 people, and then every year it's been growing. So now we're here with 1,000 people.
And this is what year is this that this event has been taking place? How many years have it been taking place?
I think it's been about 10 years. It's been around. I forgot the exact year it started.
Well, that's okay. Well, as long as you're here today, and make sure that these young people really understand, because between the science and the technology that we have in today, why don't you share with them how important this new relationship is to better preserve what we need for the future, especially with the millennials?
So understanding what's happening with our big scale infrastructure is actually very important, because we spend a lot of time actually in this building. There's a study like we spend 87% of our time inside the building. And so making sure that your building is safe and functional and it's always serving the purpose of what it is, that's very important for the quality of our life. Making sure that all the society is functioning well. And it's not just the building structure, it's the bridges out there, the dams, that's the water system providing the life source.
Wow.
So it's a very critical issue that we make sure we understand the underlying physics behind it, and all the cities operating as we expect.
Well, and it's really beautiful as I listen to you share with the viewers how important this area of awareness is about, because I would imagine that it also includes our ecosystem, our global conditions as a whole. And certainly, why don't you share with the viewers, really, when we have an issue between science and our ecosystem, how important your role is, especially with a convention like this?
So in this, we're actually at a very critical stage that we're trying to expand from this traditional mechanics field, where we scale up to understand how people are functioning inside these structures, how this structure will better serve the people, what's the environmental impact we're making, because from the design stage to construction and regular operation, and after the service, we have to also think about what's the environmental footprint we're making. So this whole process is really critical, just looking at the size and the amount we're interacting with these structures, and it's a significant amount of resources we're actually spending to design, create, maintain this whole structure around us.
Wow. And so for you viewers to really know how important this event is, I'm going to ask the final question, and we're going to call this the $1 billion question, because it really relates to the awareness. Why don't you share with the viewers what is the focus with the students, graduate students, and of course the doctorate students that attend this event? how do you focus on them, and what do you hope that they could bring into an awareness, starting from the youngest attendees that attended this event?
So the primary focus, because we're the research community, the education has focused on the PhD and master students who are doing research to discover new knowledge in this field. And that's why we're here to present the work and share it so everyone knows about what's going on, the new findings, and get the inspiration so we can continue on this area. But it's not just limited to PhD and master students. We have some undergrad students here also presenting, and it's also good motivation and inspiration for those students to see what we are doing and how they could be contributing as a future workforce. And my understanding is that we also have some high school students attending as well, because many of the faculty here are collaborating with the local communities and high schoolers to improve their participants or recruit more future workforces into the STEM field. So some of them have research experience, so they'll come here, network with the field experts in the area, and also present their work.
Wow, I'm getting excited because she said something that was really important that is now being articulated in the world. STEM programs, that's a new term for folks to hear. We don't hear it in our daily vocabulary. And I noticed that there was an array of different areas, from nanogram technology to various technology. Before we let you go, now you have to share with the viewers how many different areas of coverage did this event have, from A to Z, to bring this whole thing together. And then we might let you go.
Okay, so I don't think I can actually count it. There are a lot of different fields that's involved in it. We're covering from nanoscale onto different, there's even a talk about space projects. So you see this whole variety of different scales that we're covering, and different problems that these mechanics people, experts are working on in this conference.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just amazing how much impact this community is making, because mechanics is everywhere. It's like these walls we have, the buildings, but the ground, the sand, there are a lot of geomechanics people here, like the earthquakes that's happening, the hurricanes. Mechanics is not just about the solids, it also has the liquid and the gas, which is on atmospheric impacts and so on. So it's basically everything that's around you.
Wow. Well, we certainly want to thank you so much for giving us the information. And we're going to try and bring some more of the cast, the award-winning recipients, and bring them into the interview as well. And so I would love for you to kind of stay around on the side, because I think the viewers really need to be educated in the sense of how important this time of our community is, with becoming a powerful tech contributor here in Southern California. As you well know, we have the Silicon Valley up north, and unfortunately we have the west side that is now building up a powerful tech center out there in the west side of California. I don't know if you're aware of that, but near Playa del Rey, Santa Monica, they have a huge tech community, here in Southern California. But we would like to really develop that here in Pasadena, and certainly with the establishment we have here at Caltech, and with the type of programs that we're seeing today. We have one of the recipients of an award from this event, and he's going to give you a real specific road about how important this type of program is, and what has it done for him as a result of this experience, and certainly being a gentleman who is into physics, the mechanics, and certainly the unknown about technology. So why don't you share your name, and how far did you come here today to be a part of this program?
Yep, so I am Mustafa Mirshakari. I'm a last year PhD student from Carnegie Mellon University. Currently in the job market for faculty jobs. So I guess we can say I came 6-7 hours from Pittsburgh. So yeah. So,
Share with them what your specialty is and really how long you've been involved with focusing in on your specialty.
yeah. So what we're working on is to use the structure as a sensor, right? So to understand what is happening outside and inside the structure. Let me give you an example. So people are walking around the house. They're doing activities. They do vacuuming. They make coffees. All of these different activities, it will result in some vibration in the structure. So what we do is we measure those vibrations, and then we try to understand who is that person, where is that person walking, what is the activity, and more importantly, what is the health status. So for example, one application that we focused on is for understanding the gait of people, patients from muscular dystrophy, cerebral palsy, different muscular neural diseases, as well as elderly people in nursing homes. We are doing collaboration with 2 nursing homes in Pittsburgh. We are working with Nationwide Children's Hospital. We are working with Highmark. All of these different hospitals to understand what is happening with the gait of people and try to track their medical conditions. So that is just one application. Outside the structure, we can look into traffic, find out what is happening outside the structure in terms of traffic, the smart healthcare, and so on. The list just goes on.
Wow. So why don't you share with the viewers before we let you go? It seems like this is an all-inclusive need for society because everything is starting to come together, from technology to science to really an awareness, because you've covered from diseases to health to society. I mean, share with the viewers really how important this program is for future students and for them to understand the levels that you guys are breaking down right now for the future.
I think, so that's a great question. I think this is a very interesting, very important part of the future. So we have looked into understanding the nature for a long time, and we have tried to understand it in a sense that, okay, now we can engineer it, we can say, use it for technology. And I think the next step in that realm is to be able to smartly interact with your environment. Smartly say that in a sense that, okay, your house understands if there is something wrong with you, and then your house tries to say, okay, you should go to the doctor. I think that is the next step of kind of technology. Like, it's not a passive thing that we just use. It's an active thing that interacts with us.
So let me just make sure I'm clear so you viewers can understand what he's sharing with us. Am I hearing that we are working on modern technology where your house can actually diagnose you because of what it's reading in your environment at your home?
You're hearing that right. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable. And so you're sharing with the viewers that these are the type of dynamics that you guys are working with here through this convention to really lay the groundwork for that to be our future in the next 10, 20 years?
I would say yes. There are a lot of different aspects to this conference, but we had it, specifically about this topic that I'm talking about, the structure, not the sensor.
Wow. Well, viewers, I hope that you got as excited as I did, because we hear about these type of developments, and of course, when we start utilizing them in our environment, it's kind of like, okay, we have to accept it. But to actually hear that these things are in the works, they're being developed, they're being tested, that is so unbelievable. I can't even wait to see some of the experiments.
I think this is great. Like when we are interacting with the community, with the society, like elderly people, patients, parents of the patients, and then just that kind of communication that we have with them for doing the experiment through their health. That's just an awesome experience for me as someone who's working on this topic.
Viewers, hopefully you've enjoyed what he shared with, because it's a whole host of other conferences that we're going to check out before we let you go from our society show today. So in closing, do you have anything else you'd like to share with the millennials, with the viewers, about how important this kind of project is, and what did it mean to you, especially to be the recipient of the award you won today, and share with them what did you win today?
So I won the Best Student Paper Competition Award from Dynamics Committee. So I guess the point is kind of well known now. There are needs in the society. and the technology can help with that. There are points that we can interact with our environment to be able to improve our lives and the lives of people around us. I think that's the way to go and pursue that.
Wow, well, I'm just honored to meet you.
Thank
Honored
you.
to hear this story, and hopefully you viewers, you've enjoyed it as well. So thank you.
Thank you, man.
All right. And we're back, and we have another one of the speakers here. We want him to really give an insight of what this experience has been for you. So why don't you share with the viewers your name, how far did you come to participate in this convention, and really what is the future offers after being here for the last 3 days?
Great. Hi, so everybody, my name is Jonathan Faggart. I'm a PhD student at Carnegie Mellon University, and I came here to LA all the way from Pittsburgh, so it was about a 5-6 hour flight, so I came all the way across the country to be here. And one of the things that's really great about being at this conference is your exposure to the technology community and the engineering community in academia. So how we can try to transfer knowledge to all of the people that are in our community, and then as a student myself, being a recipient of a lot of that knowledge. So this kind of two-way sharing of knowledge and then exposure that you can get to the greater community.
Wow, so why don't you share with us, if I may call you Jonathan, or should I call you Doctor?
No, definitely not doctor.
All right. Why don't you share with the viewers, because you have a lot of young viewers that's going to watch this, and they're going to, wonder why should they pay attention to a convention like this?
Yeah, great question. So one of the things I think is really great about a convention like this is just the variety of the science that's being studied here. So I think you've heard a little bit already about different ways that we can sense the world around us and learn about how buildings perform. And that's just a small example of the type of things that you can experience at these types of events. So we can learn about our built environment, we can learn about how we can sense it, what it can do for us, and then further ways that we can advance science and technology and how we can use that as a way to understand the global community.
And why don't you share with the viewers, especially high school students, how important is it to know science and to add that to their development academically, considering what their future holds for them?
Yeah, really great question. So I think one of the really great things about science is just how we can use it to kind of grow ourselves. So science is in a way how we can understand the world. So as a high schooler, or as a young person, I think one of the beauties of science and the STEM community as a whole is, how can you further yourself or further observations that you have about the world and then try to understand what those mean. So I think in that way, science is a great career path for a lot of young people and something that I think can be rewarding for their entire career.
And why don't you share with the viewers, because I got to get all the meat I can, because when the young folks look at this, and then millennials and everyone, they have to really see a real value. What my hope that this convention will do is really bring an awareness to them, especially for someone like yourself, because you only look like you're 21. So, we want to make sure that they hear the stories and really get prepared. So really, why don't you share with the viewers, what are you going to take back to Pennsylvania as a result of being here in Pasadena, being here in California, and certainly being around the collective group of men and women that are probably the next future for our Earth?
Yeah, really great question. So I think the question is multi-layered. So the first one, I think, in terms of added value that you can have as an individual and that this community can have, particularly in the sense that, by and large, this conference that we're at is a civil engineering conference. And the really great thing about civil engineering is how tactile it is. So we're talking about the built environment. So whenever you're making contributions in that area, it's something that you can see, that you can be a part of every day. So for instance, let's say you want to design a building, you can do that. So you can be part of that change or part of the way to facilitate the next era of our civilization. And then, kind of how that all comes together in this community is the way that we just share that knowledge. So it's not all done in a bubble. Whenever you're thinking about how society can progress or how we can kind of influence the trajectory of our civilization, I think it's done in places like this. So what we can do is come up with ideas of how we can make things better. How can we make our structures perform better? How can we use technology to learn about our built environment to enhance our environment, and how we can improve that over time?
Wow. And like I said, before I let you go, just share with the viewers, as a result of being here in Pasadena and being here on a campus like this, what does it say about this community and the possibility for those who are around this community to leverage against this asset and this resource here at Caltech?
Yeah. So I think I personally love being on college campuses. I think there's just so much energy whenever you're on a college campus, because you have so many people, so many bright-minded individuals that all come together in one area, and you can kind of feel that energy whenever you're on a college campus. So you can see, somebody here is famous for this thing, somebody over there famous for some other thing, and they're all in one place. So you have this wealth of knowledge and information and just excitement for the future. And I think that that's pretty unique to college campuses, and something I really enjoy about being on them.
Wow. Well, we want to thank you. We want to thank you, viewers, for joining us today on our Society Show. And certainly stay with us, because we want to share some of the various different speakers and various events that's going to take place here at Caltech in Pasadena. So we want to thank you. And we certainly want to thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And we're back, and we have one of the, I'm going to call them the wise individuals of computer land. How is that?
Sure, why not?
Okay, and he's going to share his name with you and give you a real perspective of what his experience has been in the last 3 days here at Caltech.
So my name is Pei Zhang. I'm an associate research professor from Carnegie Mellon University, Silicon Valley. So it's really great being here, as I'm learning a lot about civil structures. Although I'm from a computer engineering perspective, it's really great to exchange information with different people from different fields, understanding what the needs are from the civil side, what the techniques are, and really what the computer engineering community can contribute to this area.
Wow, and that's a very interesting dynamic, because now you're saying the civil engineering is giving a real insight on mechanical developments for structure. Now they have to incorporate the computer side of it so that they can communicate. I would assume that would be the primary.
Sure, it's communication, it's analyzing the data, it's to understand what the data is doing, and to interpret deeper meaning from the data as well. And computer science is a very nice tool to accomplish all these things, and involving the new data science with the traditional modeling and different aspects of civil engineering, it's really the next step in research.
So now, how important is this, I'm going to call it the partnership for our future development, and also to combat against some of the green issues that we have in our climate right now and our ecosystem?
I think collaboration is always good. This, as I always say, is 1 + 1 is much greater than 2. Because different people with different expertise bring in vastly different viewpoints, and that added together allow much more novel research to come out. So to solve all these new environmental issues, we really need kind of the best mind of the world putting their mind together to solve these problems.
And interesting when you were touching on the analysis part of technology and how important the computer actually picks up that. How much has this conference raised your awareness of that interaction?
Actually, it's interesting. The new data science, kind of thinks sometimes that data can solve everything. And of course, with this community, it's very hard to get a lot of data. You cannot break down 1 million bridges just to get enough data, right? So it's very fascinating to see how you get additional data from the existing physical models and the experimental models that you can put together to increase that data, make these kind of research possible.
Wow. And in closing, I have to ask you this question, since you are a computer man. How much is this going to really advance our ability to live outside of this planet with what you've seen since you've been here, and then taking that into a framework of computer language?
Well, outside this planet, so it's I think it's a step in that direction. Understanding the world around us, understanding the structure around us. These are necessary steps for building any large structures, whether that be on Earth or taking you off of it. This conference and conferences like these are really sort of where all the cutting edge research comes, and you can understand what is existing on the cutting edge of human knowledge. And this is a place where you kind of get to see that crystal ball and understand what is coming up in 50 years. And these things, put it together, really allow us to do crazy, out of the times.
And last and not least, before I let you go, you indicated that you were from the Silicon Valley branch of research for your institution. Am I correct?
Correct.
So why don't you share with the viewers, since you're down in Southern California, especially here in Pasadena, really what have you seen would be a different approach that they use here at Caltech, unlike Silicon Valley?
Well, the CMU is mainly based in Pittsburgh, and we have a Silicon Valley campus to sort of give the startup feel to it. And down here is certainly, I would say, strangely different, although it's the same state, because there's such a mixture of different things. Pittsburgh is very maybe traditional. Silicon Valley is very high-tech-ish. Here is everything mixed together. So that mixture really allows you to experience so many different things, and I believe that kind of sparks research going forward.
And we like to share with those viewers how important it is to understand what takes place here at Caltech and what new visitors get a chance to see and experience for themselves when they come here on the campus and engage at a event like this particular event. And then they can go back to the Northern California and say, hey, you're okay down here.
Well, I would like to say there shouldn't be a rivalry, because research knows no physical boundary. Right? So whether you be in the East Coast, West Coast, Upper West Coast, or Lower West Coast, it's people get together, we're all doing cutting edge research. Maybe we're doing different viewpoints, and those viewpoints are extremely valuable. So move around, get all the different viewpoints that you can.
Wow, well, that is a powerful message to leave on, and I just want to thank you so much for the interview. And viewers, hopefully you've enjoyed, again, hearing from the various speakers that we've had here, because all of them are incredible, dynamic individuals that make sure our society, our world, and our safety always is focused in to get the best. And we want to thank you.
Thank you very much.